Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to twitch.tv/ice My name is Graham Day, and I'm not joined by anyone because we've just had, we've literally, in the countdown to the start of the show, we've just had a power cut and we've lost baby. So give me 1 second as well. I'm going to shut my window. So this is a great start. Everything's going well. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to twitch.tv/ice My name is Graham Day, and I'm usually joined in a box somewhere kind of like over here by a man that we call Bibby. However, with about 40 seconds left of our intro countdown, Bibby had a power cut. As you can tell, I have a text message that says power cut. Mint in true Bibby fashion. So he will be with us shortly, but you know, I like to waffle anyway, so I'll get the intro out of the way whilst Bibby's trying to get his house a little bit of power back online. But anyway, we are Ice Cream Uploads, and this is the Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video gaming and beyond. We bring you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the news of video games. Obviously, my name is Graham Day. This guy over here somewhere should be Bibby, and hopefully he'll join us back in soon. Hopefully it's just a temporary power cut and not like a complete power outage, because if not, you just get a one-man scoopage, which nobody wants. That we want the thoughts and opinions, because that's exactly what this is. We give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest and the best and the breaking news stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions, a little bit of backwards and forwards, and that's what happens. We do this live. Usually I'd say we do this live at 10 a.m. on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. That is the official scoop time. However, we moved to 2 p.m. because of a little bit of coronavirus. We're now trying to do a little bit of a rejig of the schedule again. We're moving back to 10 a.m. At least for today, because we want to follow up with a little bit of gameplay. Anyway, join us live on Twitch at 10 a.m. You can get involved. We can get your thoughts and impressions within the Twitch chat at 10 a.m. each and every single weekday. And that is important because we turn this whole show into a podcast that gets put out on YouTube and on 4 different podcast services. That's iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you get involved in the chat, then your thoughts and impressions can, be simulated around the world. But anyway, let me turn around. Let me shut this door. I have had news that Bibby is alive. Casadella Babies is coming back online. It's just booting things back up. So we will hold off. We do have a few news stories for everyone involved today. But much like we had at times last week, COVID-19 is kind of killing the world of video games. We had a few days where everything kind of just took off and we had a lot to cover, whereas today we've got 4-ish stories, and I heard a noise. I think we have the man back. Baby!
Yes. Jesus Christ. Not having a good time this morning.
Let me jump to the split screen. There he is! Hey! So, about 40 seconds left on the countdown. Oh no, he's frozen. Oh, he's back again. There we go. Thought we'd lost him again then. Yeah, 40 seconds left on the countdown. Everything's going swimmingly. And then Casadella Bib gets... you have to put another 50p in the meter, Bib.
Well, I had to be fair. And actually, live someone up the road from me, and it was down on Friday for about 5. They're doing road work, so I have no idea why.
Most of that was like choppy as hell, so I couldn't. I'm guessing you said it's something to do with roadworks, but we got the ding noise perfectly loud and clear, so that's good. Let me check my network and stuff as well, make sure everything's good at this end. No, you're proper choppy. You're proper choppy. I'm guessing you said choppy then, because all I heard was either that or you said chopper dyes his pubes ginger. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Let's jump into things. But before we do you know what, we've had a bit of a chat. What have you been up to this weekend, Bib? Have you been playing any new games and getting them dubs with Team GD Grib and Bib Connection on the case with a bit of Kangaroo Dog TV? What are you saying? We're saying just off the top of my head. Just.
Yeah, so after watching about 300 hours of other people's content, I managed to get a key finally for Valorant. So we tore it up yesterday. I'm guessing that is going.
How about we maybe try just switching to audio for a minute. I'll jump back to screen. Now you maybe turn your camera off and see if that helps with the audio quality coming through.
Does this help with the audio quality coming through?
So
I'm
far,
guessing no.
so far, I'm just trying to make it so that we don't have the BBC Bite Size link. There's some woman stood in the BBC Bite Size Discord preview, and I didn't want her to be your representation on screen. So. Okay, we'll keep that there. We'll keep that there. Actually, do I have a picture of Bib? Do you know what? Do you know what? Sorry, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll jump into the first news article. It might have sorted itself out by the time I sorted images of Bib and everything. Okay, so we'll jump in to our first bit of news of the day. If you've been following us on Twitter at Ice Cream Uploads, that's our social media across all the place, then you will have seen what the first news story that we're going to lead with is, with some beautiful alliterative tweets from Bib, GG Bib. And the first story focuses on Call of Duty Warzone, because console players are opting out of crossplay because of PC cheaters. Bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to clear my sinuses. This is all going well this morning.
He's blowing his nose to hear that. Thank you very much, Graham.
You're welcome. You're the only one that gets the benefit of that. Nobody else. Nobody else. Okay, Call of Duty Warzone console players are opting out of crossplay because of PC cheaters. This is written by Emily Gera for VG247 at 8 minutes past midnight. Dedicated. Anyway, console players of Call of Duty Warzone are opting out of crossplay with PC users in an effort to avoid growing numbers of cheaters. Earlier this week, game developer Infinity Ward confirmed it has issued over 70,000 bans worldwide as part of its zero tolerance policy against users employing cheat tactics. That's the one. Cheat tactics. There we go. Now we have a quote with the article that says, "We've now issued over 70,000 bans worldwide to protect Warzone from cheaters," the studio said in a tweet. "We're continuing to deploy dedicated security updates and work continues on improving in-game reporting. We'll share more details soon. We are watching. We have zero tolerance for cheaters." However, as Eurogamer reports, players are still complaining about PC users who can automatically headshot, shoot through walls, and play without recoil. Over on Reddit, Warzone players have uploaded clips exposing a few of these cheats via Modern Warfare's kill cam and Warzone's spectate mode. Is that? Oh, that's just the end of the article. Well, it's a very small article. Wow. Nice and brief to kick off the day. Thoughts, babe?
I don't know if this is going to be the beginning of the end for the crossplay stuff, especially when it comes to first-person shooters like this. We've been waiting for crossplay for what seems like forever. Obviously, it was an Xbox that reached out first to be able to want to have crossplay with the likes of Nintendo, and then PC getting involved, and finally PlayStation coming late to the party as well. So, does that mean now that with will people's tolerances of wanting to play with PC players now deteriorate, because surely it's a lot easier to hack the game on a PC than it is on a PlayStation or an Xbox or any kind of console? So will they just no longer want to play with PC players because they know full well that they can mod the game to do specific things that you can't in PlayStation, so it just ruins the experience for them?
You've got to feel it kind of has to go that way. Just before we crack on, the reason anyone tuning in now, the reason Bibby isn't in the box is we've been having connection issues, so we've gone down to audio only for a little bit. Actually, should we try with the camera again now? Because that audio was pristine there. Turn on your camera.
Oh yeah, I need to do that on my side, don't I?
Yeah.
Boom. Camera on.
It's loading it. There we go. Good morning, Enix. Enix PvP. You changed your name again? Good morning. The Warzone is dead now. The cheater issue has got extremely bad. Beans says, "Morning. Good morning, Beans. How the
Morning,
devil
Beans.
are you, sir?" Enix says, "Think they need console-only crossplay. Just jumping on a business call 1 sec." No, we are not. We'll sit here and we'll wait for you. Come on, hurry up. Get back. No, we won't really. I'm joking. Enjoy the call. Enjoy the call. Yeah. This could be a damning sign for crossplay, and not just a damning sign for crossplay. This could be a damning sign for crossplay on Call of Duty specifically, because last year Call of Duty's esports was based on console. So we had this massive fanfare as Blackout launched. Remember, me and Baby sat in the office watching Doc get his first win in his first game playing on PC when Blackout launched. We were like, "Fuck yeah, massive game, baby!" And yeah, so after that though, after Doc had got his win, after it had all rolled out on PC, because of the console being the primary, well, the only place for the official Call of Duty esports stuff to take place, the PC audience quickly, very, very quickly died off. They couldn't fill lobbies on PC playing Warzone, which is why if you ever saw anyone like Dr. Disrespect doing Triple Threat, which is where he wins one game on Warzone, one game on Fortnite, one game on PUBG or whatever like that, well, one game on Blackout as it was then, he'd have to jump over to console to play it because he couldn't get enough PC players to fill a lobby. So this year, that's fine. It doesn't matter. We've got crossplay. We'll allow PC players to play with console players. So you've got to think, if you're a PC player, it's like, yes, I can play on my platform of choice. You've got to be absolutely pissed because of 1 or 2% or whatever the number is of cheaters that are just thinking, yeah, let's use wall hacks. Let's use aimbots and kill or whatever. So they're absolutely melting people. Now, I think this situation we're in right now, we've got PC players absolutely terrorizing console players. Console players are going, okay, well, suck it. I just don't want to play against PC players. Not only are they playing a mouse and keyboard, but they've got aimbots as well. Crossplay off. There's going to be enough people on PS4 to fill lobbies, so I'm not bothered. Get out of me. Get out of me. Which just means that those people that are trying to play on PC, they're going to be in the same situation they were last year. They're not going to be able to fill out their lobbies if this continues like this. Which is why, I mean, you got to think one of the easiest ways to solve it is to go for what Enix has said. I think they need console-only crossplay, which is perfect for people on console, but it just means the PC players are in the exact same situation they were in 12 months ago.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation for PC players because it's the vocal minority, i.e. they're using the hacks that are going to damage it for everybody else. Like you mentioned, then that Dot couldn't find a game last year in Blackout. It is unfortunately going to hinder game lobbies on the PC. There's no other way of saying it really, but it is what it is. You've got to look after the majority, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, it happens everywhere. Valorant, tons of cheaters, CS, etc. Why I mainly game on console with crumpets. Nice. This is compet, not crumpets. I completely understand that. Bean says, tired man, been work every day since Tuesday. Oh, well, do you know what? Sit back, grab yourself a brew. Me and Bibby will keep you entertained. This is what the scoop is about, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it does happen everywhere. The good thing that we've seen, I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago that we were talking, the game's only been out for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and they've already issued 70,000 bans worldwide or whatever it was. And we're talking about, let's hope they can keep up with it. This is where they need the transparency. And I said, this cheat stuff, everyone starts with the big, we've banned 70,000 people, we're on it, but then if those numbers don't keep coming and they don't keep up with a level of transparency, when I say transparency, it's not, this is how we're banning people from cheating, because you can't do that because they'll find ways around it then, but keeping up with what they're doing and where they're going and so on. Have they done any more of that? If people are leaving because of crossplay, are Activision kind of like head in the sand now, which is the go-to for a lot of game companies, because it's a difficult thing. I'm not saying it's right that they stick their head in the sand, but I'm not saying that I have the answer to what they should do either. But you can't go from we're banning all the players to it's ridiculously complex now. Let's just stick our head in the sand. So yeah, I mean, my feel is that they need to be dropping out more news on how they're dealing with the cheats, because if you've got news articles, especially like this popping up saying that console players are being absolutely terrorized by PC cheaters, then that's one, categorizing a whole bunch of people, and two, that can be sensation. It has been sensationalized, most likely. That could literally just be a case of 2 or 3 people have said on Reddit, do you know what, I'm going to turn my crossplay off, and then that could be the headline. Console players are turning it off, but that's sensationalized, then everyone turns it off. So I think Activision need to be ready with some sort of response to that now.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see where they go with it. 70,000 cheaters as of April 13th. I imagine that's probably tipped over to about 80,000 now in the last 7 days. But we'll see. We'll see.
Just a quick scroll through their timeline then. April 13th, I can see the 70,000 cheaters message. Then we've got playlist updates, full schedule of what to watch on stream, playlist updates again, more about the playlist update, some more about playlist updates, and then in-game items that you can purchase. Nothing else following up on that. So yes, I will give them the benefit of that. That was 7 days ago. What time did they post at UK time? Let's see. That was 9:47 PM. So okay, if they haven't in 12 hours time posted an update, that's been a full week since they've done that. That means that they don't have a set routine of, okay, we will update on cheating at 9 PM UK time or 1 whatever time it is.
Well, this article went live at 10 minutes past midnight this morning. So I'm going to say Wednesday. Jesus Christ. I'm going to say by Wednesday, we may have an idea, because if this catches fire and people start to write more about it, like you said, it's going to start picking up a little bit of momentum. More people are going to be looking at it, and they are going to have to actually come out with a PR statement to say, look, we know that we're looking into these cross-play cheaters. We're either going to ban them, or we're just going to turn it off for the time being until we get a fix in there. Or I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how their systems work or how they look out for cheaters. Have they got a script running in the background to potentially pick up if someone's using wall hacks? I have absolutely no idea. So I imagine they're going to keep those cards to the chest, like we've said many a times. And why would you tell people how you're looking for cheaters? Because they're just going to be able to adapt and move on with a different cheat. So keeping us updated with how many people they are going to be banning is nice. How they do it, they need to keep that to the chest. But if they just turn it off for the time being and say that they're going to investigate it, that'll probably lighten the mood a little bit.
I said yes then, but I had my microphone still muted from blowing my nose. Yes! So when Bibby went, oh my god, a minute ago, that's what it was. He was listening to the snotty sounds of Graham Day on the mic. I've just had a look then. This article written by the VG247 article, I don't have it up on screen, so I'm saying it as if it was written by Emily Gera. Just done a look at Emily Gera. She's based in British Columbia. Vancouver, British Columbia, so Canada. So that'll explain why it was wrote at 12:10. So yeah, you've got to kind of feel then, fast forward 10 hours, that's where we are. Give it another 10 hours, everyone should have seen that in Activision. Monday morning, Monday through the full day, everyone should have seen it. So yeah, I completely agree. If we don't have an update on the cheating situation, like you say, by Wednesday, then that has got to be a damning representation of what to expect from Call of Duty, because you can't go from, yeah, we're banning cheaters and we're doing all sorts of stuff to kill all of the cheaters, and then we are watching, we have zero tolerance for cheaters, is how the tweet ends. Okay, zero tolerance, but if you don't respond with a week later with an update on how things are going, then that doesn't keep that same sort of strong message that you're going for. But we're not saying that they won't. Let's give them the benefit of that. Let's see what they say. So we'll hopefully have news later on as the week progresses of how Infinity Ward are moving to deal with these cheats. Jumping into the chat, cheaters adapt so quick it's impossible to stamp it out. Valorant hack was out 10 minutes after the game release. That's by NXPVP, which is interesting because you're talking about Valorant hacks. Let's jump into our next news article of the day, as Riot is offering up to £80,000 for finding vulnerabilities in Valorant's anti-cheat system. This is written by Ian Walker for Kotaku UK, and the article says Riot has posted one of the biggest, if not the biggest, bounties in gaming, offering people up to $100,000 or £80,000 if they can find a security flaw in the company's controversial Vanguard anti-cheat system. The bounty, announced today, is being hosted on HackerOne, where users can earn some scratch from tech companies for pinpointing flaws in their security. There are several distinct reward tiers. The more dangerous the exploit someone finds in Vanguard, the more money they can potentially earn. This starts at $25,000 or 20 grand in UK money for a bug that allows outside entities to access users' private information, all the way to $100,000 for code execution on the kernel level, which would let a hacker compromise the most fundamental parts of a computer. Riot also provides several examples on the official bounty page. Several developers have bug bounty programs on HackerOne, but none come close to what Riot is offering. Nintendo, for instance, has rewards that range from $100 to $20,000 for finding security weaknesses in 3DS and Switch. Valve offers bounties that can surpass $2,000 depending on severity. Rockstar Games tops out at 10 grand for a specific bug related to false positives in Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Redemption's online's cheat detection. And Riot has announced this bounty following a week of controversy around its Vanguard anti-cheat program, which is installed on the computers of people who download and play Valorant, the new competitive shooter from League of Legends developer Riot Games. Vanguard caused a ruckus when players discovered that its anti-cheat system is always running on players' computers with heightened privileges to boot. Riot maintains that the program has been rigorously tested for vulnerabilities, but is prepared to pay out big money should an exploit be discovered. We want players to continue to play our games with peace of mind, and we're putting our money where our mouth is, a message from the Riot security team reads. If you think you found a flaw in Vanguard that would undermine the security and privacy of players, please submit a report right away. Riot has run its big bounty program on HackerOne since late 2014. Bounties not related to Vanguard start at $250 but can reach upwards of $4,000, according to a 2016 presentation by David Rook, Riot's current European security lead. After researchers submit their bug findings, what they're paid is decided through discussions among the Riot security team, who considered details like the severity of the bug and the amount of work it took to find. Riot has reportedly awarded almost $2 million since starting this program. Valorant is currently in closed beta and available to world-class players like Graham and Bibby, who obtain keys watching streamers play on Twitch. Thoughts, Bib?
They are literally putting their money where their mouth is. They're saying that their anti-cheat system doesn't cause any kind of chaos to your PC. It's just a fundamental program to ensure that when you play online, they try to have as minimal amount of hacks that are within the game. I mean, this focuses on the damage that it could cause to your PC and the spyware that could potentially be involved with it, rather than the actual cheats within the games. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week about causing a ruckus, as stated in this article, to say that this being put on your PC, people are able to see what they call it, keystrokes, where people are typing and it's being read elsewhere. They've got a massive data set of people's informations, whether credit card information or whatever, all that shit that was put on there, which I thought was genuinely total bollocks, because there is many other programs that are on your PC for you to be able to ensure that you play online. So yeah, they're literally saying ours is legit. If you think that you can find something in our code that is a massive red flag, then here's potentially £80,000, 80 grand. So yeah, it's basically putting their money where their mouth is.
I like this approach. There was I don't know if it was a documentary or a news segment. I'm not sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was a BBC thing. And it was basically a video games journalist reached out to some, I think he was like Norwegian, or I can't remember what country it was. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he's a Scandic-based hacker. Not that it matters. Testes. Yeah, he reached out to him because this guy essentially was selling hacks. If you wanted to have some wall hacks or aimbots or whatever in CSGO, you could spend 800 quid a month or whatever the feck it was. Probably wasn't that much. It was probably a bit more, but less or whatever. But you would give him a sum of money. He would give you access to a code which you could then install, and then you could cheat. I mean, it sounds absolutely daft to most people, but some people get kicks out of this. So this journalist essentially went to meet this guy, ask him why he does it, try the cheats and stuff. And the journalist was like, I can see why people are doing it, because you can get that feeling of winning even though it's fake, but some people can just disguise the fact that it's fake and think, yeah, I'm winning, yeah, great, whatever. But the people that are building these codes genuinely think that they are providing a service. They are like, well, people want to enjoy their games, so we're creating this cheat so people can get that feeling of winning and enjoying games. I mean, most people would realise that getting good at it is how you get that feeling. But so these people are just like, well, I'm providing a service and I'm earning money, more money than I would doing a normal job. So why would I stop doing this? So cheaters are never gonna stop. They see it as legitimate and they earn money from it. So how can you stop them by going, no, don't do it? No, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. However, if you say, okay, well, up to 100 grand to find a flaw in the system, yeah, you'll only get one payout if you find that flaw in that system. So you tell them you get 100 grand, that's it, you can't earn your whatever a month. Yeah, but you're probably cutting yourself off early, but you're also not opening yourself up to massive federal charges. I know that this dude that was in this thingy, he wouldn't be named and he wouldn't be seen on camera because in doing that, he's opened himself up to huge cases. And there was some that we covered a few months back or something where people were facing like up to 20 years in prison or something like that. So this kind of money, you think that's got to be enough? It's big enough to make people think, actually, I'm earning quite a nice living here, but that's kind of a reasonably life-changing amount of money, and I can stop putting myself at the risk of being arrested. So say I like this sort of stuff. That has to be the way that you've got to change it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this website, I'm having a look now, and if you're really good at looking at code and looking for exploits and stuff like that, you could quite easily make a living off of this website, because it just seems to be that anyone who has any exploits that that thinks that they don't have any exploits or want to get better at what's the word I'm looking for? Combating the exploits that could potentially be enforced in their games. If you are good at reading code and finding solutions, and you're an expert in the security field, then this website could probably make you an absolute fortune. If you want to do this as a full-time thing, the amount of money that you could potentially make
I think
seems
it has to be that has to be the way forward, because if you look at hackers, is essentially the most dedicated people in the tech community. That's kind of what it is. I mean, it's probably too simplifying a way of explaining it, but if you think someone that works in IT security, they, however it starts out, I mean, very, very generalising here, so bear with. However it starts out, they've got a huge interest in computers and coding and so on, and they do it for their passion, and they do it go above and beyond and so on, and then they get picked up by tech security companies, and then they fast forward 10-15 years of doing it, it becomes your bread and butter, and it's not necessarily that passion project, it's something that you do to pay the bills. Combat that with, okay, you've got this guy working tech security now, he's been in it for quite a while, with him, but the younger version of him, the new version of him, is out there going, oh, do you know what? I want to understand code and this, that, and the other, and I can find all these insecurities and stuff in the systems, and I can use my knowledge to do little cheaty things that are quite useful and good for others. I mean, you get people like Gera or George Hotz, the person that first hacked the iPhone. He was, what was he, like 16, 17-year-old or something at that point in time. He did the PS3 as well. But that's it. It was a huge passion project. Just like you might have some amazing graphics whiz kid that can do your full animated Twitch rollovers and intros and outros and slides and however. you think, how can this kid do this so much? Because it's pure passion. He's only 16 years old, but he's designing better than people who've been doing it for 30 years because it's raw talent and passion. You get that everywhere. You get that in football, you get that in video games, you get that in design, and you get it in computer coding, which is essentially hacking. If you've got your passion going in the wrong direction, you could have all of the flair to be a bit of a technical shit. So yeah, I mean, I think like
I've seen it many times though. The fact that if someone's able to exploit someone, I think Microsoft have done it more recently. Someone's managed to exploit some of their servers, and instead of, I think they've either prosecuted them or they just said, actually, you are really fucking good. Do you want to come and work for us? And then put an anti-measure in place so someone like yourself can't do this in the future. Is that the way forward for most of these people? Because I'm looking at some of the companies that are on this list. So I'm looking at Twitter, I'm looking at Slack, I'm looking at Razer, I'm looking at PayPal. These are all massive companies that have potentially an exploitable software there, and they're trying to look for people to come in and put some anti-measures in place so that they don't get bypassed. And the amount of money that's on offer, 7.5 grand, 2 grand, $500, 2 grand, 1,800. There's some massive money here for someone who could potentially go, actually, that's a 2-day job, and I've just earned myself 7 grand. Do you know what I mean? It's a good place to be in if you are a company and you know someone can come in and put some anti-measures in place so that they can't do that. It works for both. It works on both sides. Someone who's naturally talented, like you said, in terms of hacking different areas of software to have personal gain, and then have them come in and put some anti-measures in place so that doesn't happen with big money being put aside.
yeah, I agree. Morning bacon chin. As a coder, I used to try and do that. It was as tough as boots. Yeah, I bet it was. And I think that's the reason why there's so much money. If you didn't catch that, Valorant are offering £80,000 or $100,000 for people that can provide kernel level exploits in Vanguard, which is Riot or Valorant's anti-cheat software. But that doesn't surprise me in that essence. I mean, it kind of surprises me when you've got Rockstar Games, aka one of the most profitable games ever, or if not the most profitable game ever, or the most profitable entertainment IP ever, or something like that. Anyway, Grand Theft Auto, shitloads of money. Let's put it that way. So you've got Riot Games who have all of that money, but they top out at $10,000. This article says. So Riot are offering 10 times what Rockstar Games' top offer is for anyone that can help protect their code. I mean, you have to feel, reading between the lines then, that Riot are putting a lot of eggs into the Valorant basket, in the fact that, I mean, yes, it has already hit 1.7 million, so it's joint first place on concurrent viewers on Twitch ever already, and it's not out. It's had people like Summit reaching over 300,000 concurrent viewers just on one channel. It's had over 7 million hours watched just by Bibby this weekend to try and get his Valorant key, which he now has. Yeah. So you have to feel that they're feeling, okay, we are riding the crest of a wave. We don't want to have like a blackout and go whoo and disappear. We don't want to have the PUBG and go whoo, and we don't want to have, even to some extent, not the same, Fortnite, which goes whoo, kind of tails off. For those of you listening, by the way, you don't get to see me doing the hand movements when I go woof. You're just thinking, what's a woof? That's me with my hand going downhill. It's dropped off. But Fortnite kind of has dropped off, but then picked back up again, and then dropping off again, and picking back up again. Whereas you got League of Legends, which, yes, fair enough, it does have its peaks and troughs. All games naturally do have peaks and troughs. It could be seasonal, it could be update-wise, or whatever it is. But the quickest way to stop a game from getting to its natural peak where it remains is to have a flawed system. So if they're putting $100,000 in it from the off, they want to fix that straight away, and they want people to know that it's fixed straight away, so that they can have a CSGO on their hands. There's very, very few games that will last as long as League of Legends has, that will last as long as World of Warcraft has, that will last as long as CSGO has. So yeah, it completely... It it seems like the absolute thing that they should be doing. And by going 10 times as much as Grand Theft Auto has, then they're setting themselves a very big message in terms of, okay, we are paying, we will make it work, you can play it, this is going to be safe, but also don't even bother trying to hack it, mate. It's not even, we've got better than you fixing it, so don't even bother.
That link that Bacon Chin's put in, my mind has just been blown. I don't understand any of that.
They want to sustain as high up as possible on the hype curve. Exactly. If you get in and you create yourself a plateau, if you do that early and everything goes up, your plateau goes with you. If you drop, your plateau doesn't go back up without you. So if you're already on your downward spike and you fix it, people are already dropping off. You've lost the audience, so it makes absolute sense. $100,000 is nothing. I mean, it's huge money, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing compared to, I mean, what does it, Fortnite earns millions a day? That's
yeah,
a percentage of a day, one day in time out of all the millions of days that they'll keep running. So there we go. I'm going to open up this link that Bacon Chin's just put in the chats. So the Gartner Hype Cycle for Emerging Technologies. There we go. So innovation trigger, peak of inflated expectations, trough of disillusionment. That is essentially the trough of disillusionment. Is essentially, so if think of the game comes out, you get the innovation trigger, something new, ooh, wow. Then you get the inflated expectations. This is going to be the best thing ever. Oh my god, I'm so excited to play this. Then you get the trough of disillusionment. Is, oh my god, fucking PC players and their wallhack cheats in Warzone, as we've just seen in the first article of the day. Console players are turning off crossplay because they don't want to be done by PC players. So they're falling into the trough of disillusionment. The slope of enlightenment could take place in many different forms. That could be, okay, turned it off, it's better now, I'm enlightened, but it's not what it was. It's so you can't see my mouse cursor, which is annoying. So as you hit the slope of enlightenment, you could have turned off crossplay, you're enlightened now, but you're not as excited, you don't have the same peak, and then your plateau of productivity is kind of where things tailor off. So what they're trying to do is they don't want to hit the trough of disillusionment. Apologies if you're listening to this, by the way, because this probably makes no sense whatsoever. We'll include the link within the show notes, though, so you can click through for that. Or just watch the video. It's fine. You can check it out on YouTube. Feel free to say hello, drop a comment. Hi. Anyway, so yeah, avoid that trough of disillusionment. You will always have a downward peak. It's just natural. But your plateau will be much higher, and that's essentially what they're after. Mm-hmm. A nice little bit of on-screen graphics. It's been ages since I've used a nice little chart like that, but yeah, it's fine. It's nice. Anyway, think of the Google Stadia hype curve. That's just like a. Although to be fair, Google Stadia will be very, very much that curve, but probably with a very extreme dip. So there, Google Stadia will have the innovation triggers. We will have cloud gaming. We will have 4K gaming without the need of buying a PC. We will have gaming on the go. Innovation! And then the inflated expectations. I mean, that just goes forever. We were all thinking like, yeah, that's it. If I'm walking around with a USB stick, plug it into a TV room, TV in a hotel room, that's it. I can play Valorant on the go, or whatever. And then the trough of disillusionment is, okay, Stadia was launched, and that's it. The slope of enlightenment was, oh, fuck, okay, well, it's actually, I mean, I suppose it's okay for stuff like just grinding single-player modes and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, Stadia is very, very much that. I mean, that's obviously using multiple different products to show the hype cycle, but yeah, that is exactly Stadia. Graham is now obsessed with the curve and bringing it up at the dinner table now. Do you know? I've already got this on the wall at the dinner table. I mean, I've been waiting for a reason to use my journalism degree for many months now. But now, sit down for another lecture with Graham 108. Yeah.
This curve with T. Danielle, right? Okay, here's the excited curve. This is where it starts to fall off a little bit.
I'll be using this curve, the hype cycle 40. Okay, so we started off with a promise of steak. And then I started thinking about, medium rare, well cooked with a bit of peppercorn sauce, inflated expectations. And then I realised, fuck, there's some broccoli on my plate, trough of disillusionment. And then actually, do you know what? We've got some chunky chips though. There's a bit of a slope of enlightenment. And platter of productivity. Oh well, do you know what? Bit of steak with chips and some of that oozy sauce with peppercorn. This is productive enough for me. There you go. There you go. Anyway, that's enough shit talking. Let's move on. Let's get rid of the article and into. Let's talk about Nintendo Switch. There we go, on screen. The Nintendo Switch stock shortage is partly driven by bots. How about we check out the hype cycle for this? No, I'm only joking. A new tool is said to be driving the reseller market in North America. Nintendo Switch stock shortages in North America are allegedly being driven partly by a new tool designed to automatically buy consoles as they come back in stock. This is a VGC article written by Andy Robinson. Motherboard reports the loudest sub alert in the world. Oh, where was the TTS? I was waiting for the TTS. that was a Gengar guy.
That Gengar guy.
Cheers for the sub, Bib. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Motherboard reports that a large community has grown around BirdBot, a new open source tool designed to purchase Nintendo Switch consoles quickly. The tool will automatically notify users when Nintendo Switch comes back in stock at retailers Walmart or Best Buy, add it to their cart, and then complete the checkout process, giving users a huge advantage over regular consumers. Tools like BirdBot aren't new. Collectors of sneakers and tickets sometimes use automated tools for identifying restocks. However, unlike most bots in that space, BirdBot specifically targets Nintendo Switch, and crucially, it's available for free, meaning anyone can download it and try to source consoles. Nintendo Switch has recently seen a significant jump in demand globally, driven by the launch of Animal Crossing New Horizons and isolation measures due to the coronavirus pandemic. In the US, sales are said to have plummeted in the last few weeks as Nintendo struggles to stock consoles. Demand is so strong that some resellers on eBay are asking for over $500 for a console, with some vendors successfully getting around $750 for the Animal Crossing themed bundle within the last week. Twats. Up to 1,000 participants are said to have joined a Discord server designed to exploit the demand for Switch consoles. According to Motherboard, BirdBot users use the group to share tips on how to use the tool, with some explicitly stating their intention to resell consoles. Some users are said to have shared images of the bulk Nintendo Switch orders they've managed to secure using BirdBot. As well as pasting a list of Walmart and Best Buy links to point your bot towards, users tried to figure out the best balance of tasks to run simultaneously, whether or not to use proxies and which ones, and finally post how many checkouts they managed to grab with that particular setup, the site said. Walmart and Best Buy did not respond to a request for comment on how they attempt to stop bot users. Well, they're not going to do, because Walmart and Best Buy are selling them.
Exactly, yeah, they're making an absolute bank.
Websites often try to block automated buyers like these, but bot designers have avoided mitigations by routing traffic through various other computers before ordering items. Nate, the creator of BirdBot, told Motherboard that the bot is designed for both resellers and people who want to purchase a Switch for themselves. I decided to make it as a joke, but I quickly realised just how powerful it could be, he said. Me and my friends were talking about reselling Nintendo Switches, and at one point my friend, nicknamed Bird, told me I should make a bot, and here we are today. The thing is,
when your powers are used for bad.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Nate knows what he was doing there. There's no way that you can say that. He wanted to resell Switches, and it's gone from there. But yeah, I mean, maybe he started off in a good place. Maybe not. I don't think it is. But when you're in a shit situation like we all are now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Everyone is a little bit. I want to say everyone, I'm talking business-wise. Everyone is a little bit more selfish. You'll see less buy one, get one frees on the stuff that you usually see in stores, because the supermarkets aren't going to undercut to get it out, because they know that manufacturers need places to put their products. They know that people need to buy products as well. So you'll start to see less offers. So supermarkets will profit. And fast forward down that line, supermarkets are getting electronic items that can be big profit items for supermarkets coming in and flying off the shelves in normal times, when those things were selling anyway, or when things weren't necessarily selling, they'd go, okay, do you know what? For the sake of a few Switch sales, we don't want to damage our reputation. So what we should be doing right now is stopping these bots from purchasing these consoles, so that we can seem like we are the better brands. So we'll increase our brand loyalty from customers, and customers will come back and they'll buy everything from us anyway because we are the nice brand. But in times like this, when they can go, oh, do you know what, COVID, we just snowed and we're stacked and we're trying to do what we can and whatever. They've got a way out. So do I see Walmart or anyone like that? Well, what was it? Walmart and Best Buy.
Best Buy, yeah.
Do I see them rushing to plug this to stop that bird bot from maximising their profits? Do I chuff? I think they're just going to go, oh well, it is what it is. And
they're still getting money for them, aren't they? The one thing that I'd like to see is the people not buying from the scalpers. If they're adding 200 quid onto top of the original price, I hope they just end up having a massive garage full of stuff that they can't sell by the end of it.
Yeah, I've not updated the discuss it now. Birdbot bumps. Oh, there we go. I don't know
What a guy.
Did you hear that as well?
No, I can just see it on the screen.
That's the first time I've heard the stay frosty, yeah?
Yeah. It does work, it's just whenever it wants to work, clearly, because it didn't do it with me, did it?
Yours was a resub, so I don't know if it's a difference. We'll have to look at the settings. Maybe it's different for resubs and subs. But thank you very much for the Twitch Prime Bacon Chin. Very, very much appreciated. And also, do you know what? I'm going to go through that Twitch Prime with the hype site. No, I'm not. We've done it two or three times. I've done it with steak and chips and peas and broccoli. So, Birdbot bumps Switch prices. There we go. Put it back on screen. Yeah, I mean, they're maximising profits, Walmart and Best Buy. They've we bought it in and we sold it. Jobs are good, and they don't care really. If they really cared about their consumers, they would find ways to plug that gap and fix it. But at times like this, they're probably just thinking, okay, well, we'll just keep them coming in and keep going out. That's a guaranteed windfall for us. So jobs are good, and the only people that are suffering there, Walmart are getting their orders in from Nintendo and selling them. Nintendo are sending all of their orders out and again. So Nintendo don't care, Walmart don't care. Best Buy are doing the same, they don't care. The scalpers who are using Birdbot are getting their consoles and selling for 200 quid, 300, 400 quid extra. They don't care. The only people that suffer are the end users, the people like me and you that want to go out and buy a new console but can't because one Bell End has bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nintendo Switches refurbished and got them sent to him. Like you said, I absolutely hope Nintendo go, oh, didn't even realise. Did you notice those 6 warehouses there full of Switches? And then someone go, oh no, and then suddenly, boom, Switches flood out into the market, and this Best Buy bulk order knobhead sat there with his 8 Switches like, oh damn, and he has to sell them for
Yeah.
I hope, I mean it's not going to happen, but I would love for that to happen. I'd love it, as a certain Keegan once said. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. It's not how the world works. It's shit that something that is so nice. I remember when you used to be able to buy like eBay sniping tools and stuff like that. Not buy. You used to be able to use eBay sniping tools if you wanted to buy something so that you could bid at the last possible second and outbid someone and they wouldn't have time for you. And obviously eBay kind of incorporated that sort of stuff into it. So anyone that's only new to eBay won't even know what that even was. But back in the day, you'd place a bid, someone would place their bid, and then you'd place yours, and you've been outbid. And if you did it at the very last second, it would this tool would auto bid for you, which eBay does now. And that's kind of this. Let's say that Nate guy's gone, okay, this is a way that you can get yourself your Switch to make sure you've got it. But even I refuse to believe that he's done it with that sort of mentality of to give you a tool to get yourself that personal win. Because he said, I decided to make it. No, not even that. Me and my friends were talking about reselling Nintendo Switches. So there you go. He's instantly said, I decided to make it as a joke, but realised how powerful it could be. He realised that there's value in Nintendo Switches, so he's created a tool so that him and his friends could get switches ahead of other people that want them so that they can resell them. It was born out of that idea. So I don't think it's any coincidence that it's suddenly grown into a Discord of 1,000 people all sharing tips on how to, capitalism. I suppose that's what it is. Capitalism is not illegal. But it's just a bit shit when you can see it in its blatant realism there. They're trying to say it was a joke, it was a bit of a laugh and stuff, but yeah, we're all actually sat here in our Lamborghini Diablos and whatever, mate. Well, it's just a joke, mate, isn't it, mate? Anyway. Let's finish off with... We've got one more news story for you today. It's actually a 2-part news story, so we're not going to move too far away, though. We are sticking in the realms of impacts of coronavirus, and there's something actually very close to the t-shirt that I'm wearing. Well, a few years out of date, but there we go. So Konami indefinitely delays PES Euro 2020 DLC and cancels the boxed edition. So the planned esports tournament will still take place, but London finals will now be played online. This is written by James Batchelor for GamesIndustry.biz, and the article says, Konami and the developers of eFootball PES have said the upcoming DLC that ties in with the Euro 2020 tournament... Woo! Scared the crap out of me!
We need to change that alert big time.
Yeah. That's absolutely terrifying. I mean, not only are our alerts stupidly loud at the moment, but that raid one just absolutely scares the crap out of you. But thank you very much for the raid, Drake. How are you doing? Have you been designing on stream, or have you been playing games this time? I've actually been lurking in a couple of your streams recently, so thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciated. Fantastic. And you? Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good, thank you.
I'll carry on with this article. Konami and the developers of eFootball PES 2020 have said the upcoming DLC that ties in with the Euro 2020 tournament has been postponed. In a statement released via Twitter, the publisher said the free update was delayed until further notice due to the ongoing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The most obvious factor is that the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament itself has also been postponed, but Konami notes that with a state of emergency recently declared in Japan, the original April 30th release date for the DLC is no longer possible. And that is important to keep in mind. Keep the fact that Japan has recently been put into a state of emergency. So jumping forward, the company has cancelled plans for a physical edition of the eFootball PES 2020 that would release in time for the tournament. The new boxed edition would still require a download to access the Euro 2020 content, but would have sported a redesigned cover with the Euro Cup featured prominently. While this edition will no longer be being released, Konami re-emphasised that anyone who purchases PES 2020 going forward or already owns it will receive the Euro 2020 content for free as and when it eventually releases. There was also an update on the esports tournament Konami and UEFA plan to run alongside the Euros, and this will continue as scheduled with the final taking place from May the 23rd to the 24th. The final was originally going to be held in London in July, but the event has now been pulled forward and will be a virtual event. The partnership between Konami and UEFA gives the publisher exclusive rights to UEFA Euro 2024 PES. In our interview with the team last year, it was cited as a key factor in its ongoing efforts to rival the market leader EA's FIFA series. So I'll jump off that one for a second, and then we can follow that one up with a little bit of an update today. And as I mentioned, obviously keep the keep the state of emergency in mind, as that's important. As today, Konami have announced, get out of here, Slack. Let me kill my Slack notifications. Pause notifications forever.
See you later, Bacon Chin. Again, thank you for the sub. And it's DDC. Thank you very much for the follow as well.
That's all good. But yeah, right. Also echoing that. Thanks, Bacon Chin. Thanks, DDC. Thank you, everyone. You're all lovely people. So yes, mentioned Konami, aka Japan, as the country, as well as Konami as the business, are in a state of emergency at the moment, and that has led to this announcement today regarding UEFA Euro 2020 and featured players. In an effort to contain the spread of COVID-19, the eFootball PES 2020 development team is going through some changes. Due to this, we have decided to push back the date of UEFA Euro 2020 update content that we had planned to release on April 30th. Furthermore, for some time, featured players will not be available for signing. We apologise sincerely to everyone that was looking forward to enjoy the above content. Future plans are being discussed at the moment, so we'll post any updates as soon as possible. As an apology, all users that finished the MyClub tutorial by the 20th of the 4th at 8 AM have received 300 MyClub coins. We count on your kind understanding regarding this matter. So, long story short, UEFA Euro 2020 stuff is coming. We don't know when, but Konami are now clearly being impacted by the state of emergency imposed on Japan and regular featured players. So the featured players are essentially so eFootball PES 2020 is a football game. Featured players are like special editions, time limited versions of players with boosted stats that you can get. And have been able to get all the way through the year. Those have been postponed for the foreseeable, and that you have to assume is down to the fact that Japan is in a state of emergency. They are not immune to everything that's going on in the world, and probably a good word there. They're not immune to it. So yeah, and I think this kind of shows it.
Yeah, it's when your country's in a state of lockdown, a state of emergency, and you literally probably in those. I've never lived in Japan, but it strikes me as one of them places that are as strict as what I've seen in the videos of Germany. If you're leaving your house and it's not for a specific reason, mate, you're getting fined and potentially locked up. So yeah, it's a weird situation for the world right now. Never mind just this country. It surprises me that it's taking this long for them to go into lockdown. I mean, it's not even lockdown. This is one step higher. This state of emergency. So they've got to look after themselves first. Otherwise, there's no company to go back to.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, did I interrupt you then?
No. I was just padding while you was typing.
Ah, good lad, good lad. Yeah, I was up at silly o'clock because COVID-19 just kills all of my sleep cycles. Jobs are good. I was up at silly o'clock when I saw the news first starting to go out, roll out about the featured players not being there, and same sort of thing I mentioned on Friday when we briefly spoke about this. There was an initial lazy, not doing content, blah, blah. And I just thought, you absolute weapons! I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in 12 hours time. Fast forward to now, but. Surprisingly, so many people on the internet have actually been quite supportive. I mean, it may have changed whilst we've been on air, but a lot of people are like, actually, do you know what? I hope it's disappointing, which naturally it is. If you were looking forward to updates in your game and you didn't get an update, naturally that's disappointing. Completely agree with those feelings, but to let that disappointment change your compassion for other human beings in general, to start being a dick and God, you know what? Fuck it, yeah, whatever. Because they have families, they have lives, they want to live, they want to stay healthy, just like you do. And last week there were signs that people were just going to forget all that and just be nasty, miserable bastards. But anyway, from what I've seen today, a lot of people have been quite supportive, so that's nice. GG internet, yeah. Let's have a little bit of understanding and support in this sort of time.
For the time being.
For the time being, yeah. I mean, and that's that hype cycle sort of thing. That trough of disillusionment. I mean, it depends on how far that falls, and that depends on what their expectations were. So if they had expectations of, because I'm in lockdown and I'm going to get featured players and I'm going to get Euro 2020 and I'm going to get 5,000 MyClub coins a day and whatever they've built up in their head, if the trough of disillusionment, if their expectation versus reality is offset, then yeah, people could turn into nasty so-and-sos. But it's coronavirus. It's stopped E3. It's stopped Gamescom now from the looks of things, albeit digitally. It's stopped even San Diego Comic-Con. The first SDCC in 50 years hasn't happened because of coronavirus. So if these big signature events can't happen, then just adding featured players in for the 20th of April 2020. Okay, well, it's quite easy for something like that to miss. So, yeah, I mean, what their actual words were, for some time, featured players will not be available for signing. Yeah. So, yeah, expect more of it going forward.
I'm just as bummed out that they haven't put something like co-op campaigns in there for you to be able to go out and get more XP, get more drops and stuff like that. But I am telling them to go in and risk their lives for the sake of that. It's not it's not feasible for them to be able to do it. They're not going to bet on their lives to want to put in young Timmy's favourite co-op game and add some more, bit more, sprinkles on top of the co-op stuff, and just give more agents because we're at home. Essentially, they've been working in a lockdown situation. It's now been stepped up. So, do you know what I mean? They've been on limited staff. We've been in limited staff in the world, especially in the UK. A lot of people have ended up losing their jobs over it. So it is what it is. It's a pandemic that is unforeseen, and just because you want something doesn't mean that you should necessarily get it.
I completely agree. I was just trying to, whilst you were reading that, trying to find this. This is a good tweet. Friend of the show and potentially listening. Precision TV says, the end of featured players, in quote marks, for some time. Also wish Konami employees well on recovery from COVID-19. There's more to life than games. Exactly that. I think that's kind of it. There is more to life than games. I mean, games are life, but there is more to life than games. So, yeah. I
mean, our jobs are built around video games. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that we should be the most pissed off in this situation, because we're not, because we're understanding of the entirety of the world situation, and the be all and end all of life isn't playing video games. So, you know what, lives come first. Jobs will eventually go back to normal again at some point, but for the sake of a few co-op challenges or a few new game modes or a few new agents and stuff like that, do you know what, I'll take another hit for another month if that's what it takes.
I agree, and that's because you're a sensible human being, baby. There you go with the logic. You're supposed to just be angry because you're on the internet. God damn it.
Well, I'm too much of a positive person to even vent. It's very rare. If you go through my timeline of any of my 30,000 tweets, it's very rare that you'll find something negative being posted on there. Because if I'm a negative person, the people who come into these chats, people who want to watch these shows on demand, they turn negative as well. And then the chat becomes a negative place. And I cannot be asked going online to play games and then just sit there trolling or being in a bad mood. Do you know what I mean? We do this because we enjoy being positive and we enjoy being happy, and we want to give people positive news, and we want to give out a positive vibe. If I'm going to be a negative bastard on my Twitter timeline, I'm coming here and start to do the same thing, what's the point? I've already lost the war in my eyes. So it just doesn't sit right with me being negative all the time. There will be times where I will be slightly negative because it's not impacted me, but because I potentially might have thought something might have gone differently, or something just doesn't work at all. If I'm having a bad experience in a game, I turn the game off. I'm not going to go online and start dissing people, because what does that achieve? Absolutely nothing.
No,
so,
I agree. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being verbally negative whilst you're playing a game, because you are dealing with it at that point in time. So if you're playing a game, oh fuck, let's just do my nutting or whatever. That's just you dealing. That's your stress reaction for dealing with the situation. Yeah. But once the game's stopped, you switch it off. Then you get rid of it. If you cling to it, it's just gonna fester. So get rid.
I don't have to justify my mindset to anybody. Like, my mindset is the way that I think, and if I want to vent it in a particular way, then I absolutely will. But there is no way that I will ever post something to try and get somebody else to say, yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. It does absolutely no good for anybody. Never mind your own mental health. If you're taking the time to sit there and type out a tweet that's aggressively negative over absolutely nothing, then I'm sorry, that's not the way that I roll. That's never going to be me. You ain't going to ever get that from me, and I won't ever apologize for it either. That's the bottom line, Graham.
It sounds like one of those Marilyn Monroe things that you see on Facebook status. If you don't like me at worst, you damn sure don't deserve me at my best.
I've got lift, laugh, love above my bed.
Anyway, on that bombshell, let's wrap things up. Because Bibby's not going to apologise for it, no matter how long you sit in today's episode.
This is where I turn into a heel. Babyface Bibby's a little dead and gone. This is where the heel Bibby comes out.
And on that bombshell, let's wrap things up. Okay, this has been Monday's edition of The Scoop. Bright and early again. back to the usual slot. And you can clearly tell because we've had a shitload more people in here today. So maybe 10 a.m. is the golden hour where Bibby can just sit there and not apologise for whatever. It's fine. But anyway, if you've liked what you've seen, please feel free to hit the follow button. It's just at the top of the screen up there somewhere. By hitting that, you'll get notified when we go live. Obviously, we're live at 10 a.m. today. We have been tinkering with the timings because of COVID-19. So we've done some 10 a.m. streams, some 2 p.m. streams. We even did a 12 noon-ish stream on Friday because that's the kind of crazy kids we are. But yes, hitting the follow button will get you notified when we go live. So whenever we go live, you will be notified first. And also, I'll just type this in the chat for you, ! socials. Boom. That should give you the links to all of our social media. If you're not here right now in the Twitch chat, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on the audio podcast, then just at Ice Cream Uploads. That's the link. That's all you need to remember across social media. It's the same everywhere. So feel free to drop us a follow. Anything you want to add, though, before we disappear, Bib?
I most certainly do. If you do see any video game news knocking around the video game hemisphere, i.e. on any websites, or social media platforms, whatever, then do feel free to tag at We've Got a Beano, at Graham_Day, at Ice Cream Uploads. We'll take your thoughts and opinions on the matter, include them in our thoughts and opinions, and which will go live tomorrow at, I'm not too sure what time we're going live tomorrow.
10 a.m. I think.
10 a.m. Okay. All right. So we'll stick with 10 a.m. But the only way that you can find out what time we're going live is by visiting our social platforms, mainly Twitter.
Yeah, you got that right. Anyway, I've just said we're going to be disappearing. Are we disappearing or are we coming back? What is the plan? Are we?
Choice is yours, mate. Dealer's choice. I still haven't caught a call off I'll call off the solicitor yet. So, free to do whatever, mate.
Well, I'm happy enough to jump in some Valorant if you want.
Yes.
Let
me speak to our third wheel.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we are going to wrap things up here for everyone that's here for the podcast. So if you're watching this on demand, we're going to wrap things up. If you're on Twitch, then please feel free to stick around because we're going to go off and then come straight back on again with some gameplay. So have yourselves a very, very lovely day and please feel free to stay frosty.